Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, this story came out on USA Today, August 12th, 2021. We all knew that the white population has been in decline for quite some time. This didn't start overnight. Technically, if you go back and track the census, it started back in the 50s. And they have been gradually declining. Now it's going a lot faster than it did in the past. So, ladies and gentlemen, Census, USC, unprecedented multiracial growth, which means people of all other groups, non-white groups, all showed some growth, where the white population, they are in the negative. They are in the negative. So the United States experienced unprecedented multiracial population growth and a decline in the white population for the first time in the nation's history, according to the U.S. Census officials who released data Thursday revealing the most sweeping picture of America's racial and ethnic makeup in a decade. These changes reveal that the U.S. population is much more multiracial and more racially and ethnically diverse than we measured in the past. Nicholas Jones, Director of Race, Ethnicity, Research, and Outreach for the Census Bureau Population Division. The white non-Hispanic population without another race decreased by 8.6% since 2010. Jones said during a Census Bureau press briefing, he cautioned that some of the changes can be attributed to improvements to the survey. The white non-Hispanic population is still the largest group in the U.S. But you know what? They group a lot of people in there that are not technically white. East Indians, Arabs, Northern Africans, some Asians, and look, we know those folks, so we can look at them and tell them they're not white. But, for bulking up the numbers, that's what they are classified as. I mean, a lot of Hispanics, even the ones that are walking around with afros, are classified as white. That's what they have done to bulk up the numbers. So, yeah, you call yourself the largest group, but really, are you? I don't think you are. The release bolstered expert predictions and estimates in the past years that shows continued expansion of the Hispanic, Black, and Asian American populations and growing numbers of multiracial residents, only a fraction in past surveys. The diversity that we're seeing in this country is going to be much more pronounced, said William Fry, senior fellow at the Brookings Metropolitan Policy Program. A small fraction of residents reported being multiracial. In 2000, 6.8 million, 2.4%. The first-year respondents had the option. That share grew slightly in 2010 to 2.9%, or 9 million people, according to the census. Mark Perry, senior demographer at the Census Bureau, said slow population growth, noted in counts released earlier this year, carried over into states' results released Thursday. The slowdown in growth is even more pronounced at the county level, he said. 52% of all counties had smaller counties in 2020 than in 2010. He said smaller counties generally lost population while large ones gained. Population decline was widespread this decade, Perry said. Growth was almost entirely in metro areas, he said, adding that all 10 of the country's most populous cities grew. What is the census? The results of the 2020 census taken amid the pandemic and partisan snipping about the politicization of the process are meant to be a snapshot of the population as of April 1st, 2020. States use the census data to determine legislative and congressional districts and the electoral college votes that come with them, as the census officials explained in July that data also will provide a far-reaching insights and impacts. Compared with the results from 2010 and earlier surveys, the data shows Americans how the population has grown and changed and moved, as well as who our neighbors and communities are. In some sense, yeah, well, that's going to happen. America today is nothing like the America of yesterday, as far as the population is concerned. It has changed. And I believe a lot of these people, your Karens and all of them, are acting out in public because they know it. They know they're shrinking. They're getting smaller. And they know it. That's why they're doing all this crazy over the top stuff. Like that's going to really help you, okay? It won't. Every 10 years, the U.S. Census Bureau conducts a count of the American population, including key demographic details, such as race and gender. These data, in turn, are used to draw up congressional districts, as well as in a host of other ways. The statistics gleaned from the decennial census. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are saying they actually handed out hundreds of thousands of billions annually in federal funding, depending on the census. So, all this time, technically, the white population got the bulk of the money from the government, because you're claiming to be the big population. So they got the bulk of the money. But now that districts are changing, school districts are changing, because there's less white children in school today than they were 50 years ago. So now they're talking about, because of that, even the funding is going to have to change. Even that's going to be different when you really think about it, because the schools are more diverse. Well, they're talking about diversity of police forces. I don't believe the police force is that diverse, but that's my opinion. Data can provide the basis for comparison of racial makeup of certain populations or the American population as a whole. It's sort of like a denominator for a whole lot of stuff, said John Logan. And yeah, so it would have to change. So money and funding that people get all throughout the country for schools and for who has the biggest counties, and those big counties getting money, that's going to all change. That's going to all change. It will not be the same anymore. Census results released this year gave Texas 2 more seats in Congress and 1 more, each to Colorado, Florida, Montana, North Carolina, and Oregon. 7 states lost seats: California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. The more detailed results Thursday shows how many people live in each county, city, or town, down to individual blocks. The data shows their ethnic and racial makeup and how many are over 18, voting age. The results present more comprehensive data on race and ancestry. In their earlier surveys, the 2020 questionnaire included write-in boxes for African Americans and Black or African American respondents for the first time, allowing them to list whether they are Haitian or Jamaican, Somali. For example, the surveys also include similar boxes for white residents, allowing them to write Lebanese, Egyptian. Y'all are not no Egypt. Y'all need to get off of that. You ain't no Egyptian. So white residents got to pick whether they're Lebanese, Egyptian, or Italian. Wow. Oh, please. Okay. Egyptians that can't handle the sun. So the number of write-in responses that could be counted per individuals has explained. Up to 6 were counted this time versus 2 in 2010, according to officials. So if y'all are the Egyptians, does that mean the Egyptians are in a decline right along with you? I would think they would be. We know they were in decline when they got judged, and the Most High kicked their behinds. They lost a lot of population then. All right. So we will see. So it's probably going to be even more coming out about these surveys, y'all, in the near future, as things have dramatically changed within the population in America. So just expect certain things to happen, y'all, like Karen continuing to go on her quest to act crazy out in public, and people are just and their cops just going over the top. I guess if you're losing population and you're aware of this kind of stuff, what do? You attack the people that are growing, right? Not that you're going to be able to do anything, but this is what you do. In your mind, you think you're doing something, but technically you're not. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.